Longtime Lake Orion residents have enjoyed a summer carnival for decades, with the exception of a few years when the village went without. The Lake Orion Lions Club has revived the tradition about 5 years ago, and it continued this year with a few changes. This year, the Jubilee was stretched out over 4 days, beginning Friday, June 30th, and coming to an end on July 3rd. A new company, Pew Shows, provided the rides for both children and adults. Also offered were games, concessions, a beer tent, music, and dancing. The Jubilee is the Lions Club's biggest fundraiser of the year.
We raise money to help the blind people and the needy people in the community. Our main goal truly is to help out the blind people throughout the state. This year we're projecting we would like to make clear about $30,000. Our objective this year is there's a new camp. It's called Bear Lake. It's up in Lapeer. What it is, it's a camp for blind people, and it's going under construction. There's going to be umpteen number of different cabins going to be built, and we as Lake Orion are trying to pay off one cabin, and that's what we're trying to accomplish this year.
The last day of the Jubilee ended with a bang. The Lake Orion fireworks display was one of the most memorable in recent years, and it was all made possible by dedicated volunteers and a generous community. As early as 5 o'clock on July 3rd, residents were already spreading out blankets and setting up lawn chairs along M24. A few hours before showtime, volunteers gathered in Greens Park to begin preparing for the show. Trenches were dug and pipes of various diameters were buried along the shore. An hour before the show, shells were loaded into the guns as boats gathered on the lake and traffic on M24 slowed to a crawl. As in recent years, fundraisers and volunteer efforts have made the event possible. Nick Christie helped lead the fundraising drive, which netted almost $13,000, up from last year's total of $11,000.
No, I'd say we're a long way away from backyard fireworks, but of course we're nowhere near Detroit. We're not putting up 300,000 or 500,000, whatever they're putting up over there. I'd say we've got a pretty well organized show, considering we've got a small town, a small community. The community all pitched together to get the show together, and all I can say is, it's a bunch of guys getting together and doing the best they can. And it's a lot of hard work, it really is. From the fundraising, actually you start right after it's all over, you're starting again thinking about the next year. And I think the show itself is excellent. I would put it up there as one of the better ones in the state.
At 10 p.m., Christie got the show underway. A crew of about 20 volunteers performed their roles of loading the guns and lighting the fuses. Foreman Shannan Shidler described why he gets involved year after year.
Excitement. I don't know what else to say. All right, flares. It's just exciting. It's something that you either really like or you don't like it. I mean, I've had friends come out to work on my crew. They've done it once, they won't do it again. I mean, it scares them, or it's just not what they want to do. For me, it's just so exciting. I just, can't wait to do the next year.
Describe the scene that while people are watching the skies, what's going on down here?
Work. That's the one bad thing. We don't get to see the fireworks show. It's so fast-paced, and the fuses you're using are 2-second fuses. So when you light it, you just turn your head away, and it comes up your back, so you don't have time to see anything. And then you're going on to the next one. When we get towards the end, when we light the grand finale, then we all get to run down and lay down our back over here and watch the grand finale, and that's basically all we get to see. The rest is just we're working. But it goes fast. I mean, you're working and you're enjoying it, and 50 minutes are over, and it feels like you just started. I mean, but you are exhausted when it's done. I mean, but it's a riot. Can't think of doing anything else 4th of July. This is where I want to be.
The holiday celebration culminated on the morning of July 4th when the 1995 Venetian Boat Parade took off from the Lake Orion Boat Club. 30 vessels made up the parade, the theme of which was Christmas in July. Many of them didn't seem to have trouble digging up Christmas decorations out of the attic or basement. Some combined the Christmas theme with the 4th of July touch, and others seemed to enjoy showing off their antique crafts.
This is a boat that came from Michigan originally in 1906. It was delivered to Mackinac, not to the island, but to Mackinac City by rail car from St. Joseph, Michigan. It was built in 1906. It was delivered in June by rail, and it was water driven up to the Les Chenaux Islands, and that's where it's been for the last 89 years. It's been in the water every year. We used to rent these type of boats that were used for fishing up north. The season up there is so short that the boats have a tendency to last longer. It was not quite in this condition when we bought it. The decks had been fiberglassed over and a lot of the wood had been covered up. But it's been about a 5-year little piecing together process of putting her together.
The boat you see is a Crackpot. It was built by my wife's uncle, Richard Rayber, and he started the boat in 1955. It took him 2 years to build the boat. He launched it in 1957. It was originally registered in Chicago out of the United States Coast Guard. The boat is entirely handcrafted by him. It's fiberglass. Supposedly it's the first fiberglass cabin cruiser built in the United States. The boat originally had the axles and the tires stayed right in the hull of the boat, and it was trailered down the road with a car, and the axle stayed right in the boat when you put it into the water. It's got a 16-foot cabin in it. It's got 4 bunks. It's got midship engine in it, and of course it's got the aft deck. This is the gentleman that built the boat. He built this boat in 1954 and
yeah, I'm right about that.
started in 55 and launched it in 57.
Yeah, it took 2 years to build it.
Yeah.
What made you decide to construct a boat from scratch?
Well, my brother made one just before I did, and I had to make one better than his, of course.
Well, we had a beautiful day, a little bit windy now, as you can probably tell, but we're in and got around the island in about an hour and 50 minutes. Had probably as many entries as we did last year. Everyone was all excited and the same enthusiasm. We had a lot of beautifully decorated boats. Everyone went out all out again this year. It was a great time.
What do you think of the parade? It was a blast. It's a really nice sense. That's why one of the reasons we live here from the lake, and really see all the people on shore was really a lot of fun. It was amazing. Good support, and we had a good time.
Oh, I had so many elves helping me that it was no problem at all. I did all the supervising, and I kept my eyes closed, and look what they did. Wasn't it gorgeous? They did it all themselves. Yeah. They put me in a seat, and I beg your pardon?
What did you think of the parade?
Oh, we were in it last year, and we're in it this year, and we're going to be in it the following year. We love parades. Yeah. And it's certainly been nice to be out here, and we're going to be back for December with the presents for real. That's what's going to happen.
After the parade traveled the perimeter of Lake Orion, participants came back to the boat club for refreshments and an award ceremony. The Lewandowski family's Chris Craft won the award for Best Antique. The entry captained by Pat McEvily won Best Overall. The Best Christmas-themed vessel was awarded to John Klaus, and the Commodore's award for Best Decorated Boat entered by a Lake Orion business went to the crew representing Art on the Side.
Well, I think in addition, as I've said before, to recognizing our national holiday, it really lends itself to community spirit and togetherness, and gives everyone on the lake and everyone that hopefully came inland too a chance to see the lake and in some of its best boats, and just to enjoy the family spirit of Lake Orion over 4th of July weekend.